Yeah, they shut my ass down right away.
Dude, Jade left. I was gonna ask her about wet dreams.
Oh, she'll come back. She'll come back.
You
And if
know,
not, back
I've
on
got
the
a
front.
buddy. I got a buddy that's like my age, right? He's almost 40. And every time he drinks, he pisses the bed, even at his age. There she is. All right, Jade, I gotta ask you, and it ain't like the wet dreams like come. I'm talking about wet dreams like in your 30s, 40s, healthy male. Um,
Okay, you kind of cut out because it was connecting. Say that again. I heard your
oh,
friend.
okay.
Every time he drinks, he pisses. You said every time he drinks, and what now?
Yeah, he wets the bed. But this is,
Yeah.
I want to know like the psyche into that. And the other thing is, this is a love story. So I've got a follow up.
That is a sleep disorder. Bedwetting. It usually is outgrown. I mean, adults, children usually have it, and it's really not like some of these sleep disorders are like almost 90 stage, I believe. Like their old way of like testing it. So like, anyway, go ahead.
Logan, you're being really loud.
Oh shit, my mic's hot. My bad.
But
Taking my trash
go
out.
ahead, go ahead. So what was your question, Super Freak? What was about like the bedwetting? That is a sleep disorder though.
Yeah. So here's the love story portion. We went out partying one night in Springfield, Missouri. He hooked up with this chick, and they both woke up and they figured out they were both bedwetters after they get intoxicated.
Oh,
So that's the
that's
love
so
story,
cute.
and that's what kept him from a girlfriend.
Oh wow, that's definitely rare. Honestly, because my sister actually she works in pediatrics, so like, um, she sees more of that than like I do. But as far see that's the thing we've been testing like the same way for since sleep medicine has been implemented, which we're like a specialty field and like we're like a younger, I guess, aspect of medicine. But honestly, I would be lying if I could like tell you about the intricate details of like the psyche or like what it's related to. I know that you know how they used to like how they used to test like if a male is competent or not. It's like this metal thing they used to put around like the base of the penis and like okay, like to there's they don't do that testing anymore. They did away with it, but like that's still a sleep disorder. You know what I mean? So like I don't know. There's like sleep, even like narcolepsy. There's only two types, and like how we test it is like day studies, and we've been doing it the same for like 30 plus years. So like, I think there's massive room for improvement of like how they're testing certain sleep disorders, and especially like all the new things in our environment that we're exposed to. I think things that they thought were like are considered like hypersomnias or parasomnias, like there is a actual like legitimate like link to whether it's diet or whether it's exposure to this. I think there's more like we should investigate that side of it more, but because we still have like old ways of thinking in sleep medicine, like nothing has really like changed except like the devices that were like trying to like look at the data of how we sleep, not like okay, how can we treat this different. Like now they're freaking implanting, like it's called Inspire, where they're like implanting devices like in people, like veterans. Actually they just got it like approved, I think maybe it's 2 years ago now, to where I mean as long as they qualify, which is hard to qualify for these implants, but I mean they're just implanting people supposedly to help treat sleep apnea. So I mean how they're going about in sleep medicine, I think there could be like a fresh look on things, but I don't really know. I'll be lying if I knew like the psyche behind bedwetting. That's really sweet though. That's sweet. They found like their perfect pair.
Yeah, they're not together anymore. That was just
Okay, well that's
that's
not
been a
a
couple.
love story, bro.
But well, they had love for a couple months.
Oh, okay, got you.
So the other thing was is can you retain knowledge listening to audiobooks in your sleep? Because I've heard people say they can. I think it's bullshit because I tried it and all I got was fucked up dreams.
I mean, I believe so. I mean, shockingly, that's what I was actually telling Logan about. Like our brain waves when we are dreaming is very similar to like wake and one, like sawtooth ways. And I've seen patients that they don't have sleep apnea, except it's called REM related sleep apnea, where they primarily have apnea in their REM stage. Because like whenever you go into your REM, it starts with the first 90 to 120 minutes of initiating sleep. You should go through your first cycle, and like a normal person sleep architecture. So like someone who doesn't have a sleep disorder, that first 90 to 120 minutes, and then it cycles. So it's short at the beginning and it gets longer throughout the night. So you should have like 4 to 5. But for people who have like the REM related OSA, like they're utterly exhausted. So like what I have found interesting is that while all stages are important, the people who don't get that REM sleep, and actually marijuana suppresses our REM, unfortunately. But yeah, when they don't get that REM sleep, they're just, to me, they complain of like daytime somnolence, excessive daytime sleepiness. Like the patients that are honest about like drug usage, like the ones that say, hey, yeah, I used to do cocaine for a period or whatever, like whatever affected that part of their brain, like it completely wipes out REM. Is what I have from my experience. I can't, I'm not, again, I'm not an MD, but from what I have seen, like drug usage on like certain drugs, to me it like affects certain parts of your like brain, which is like directly related to like REM sleep, because you can dream in like your deep sleep is what people don't understand. It's just not like I can tell by like their eyes and their brain waves like when they're dreaming, which is very similar to like your wake one. So I think you can retain information. I mean, there's been studies done about it, that people who are taking like MCATs or this or that, like they listen to it at night. I mean, when I was studying for my boards, I mean, I would listen to things falling asleep. I mean, who knows if that who knows if that actually helped or not, but I think so.
I wanted to just what was I gonna say? I was gonna chime in and say something and then I forgot. Um maybe, oh yeah, so like maybe if you went in with the intent, so like before you fell asleep, you're like, okay, I'm gonna play this thing. I want to be aware of it while I'm sleeping. Because I got a kid too. You said you had a kid, I'm pretty sure. And like I can be dead asleep and then I hear like the front door open and I am awake instantly. And like I'm a
Right.
very deep sleeper. So it's like
Mhm.
I feel like if you tell yourself, if it's important enough to you to be sensing things outside of your sleep, they will like wake you up. At least for me, most of the time it does, as long as you're not like, too
Right.
exhausted.
Right. I think that's like, mom mode kicks in. So I totally agree with that. I feel like, we can hear our kids, we can be dead asleep and, wake up. So I definitely agree with that. I feel like setting intentions, whether it's when you're, conscious or subconscious, I think is, I mean, absolutely powerful. I totally agree with you.
My other question for you was like, I've been smoking weed since I was like a young teenager. So like,
Mhm.
how would that affect my sleep if I depended on it from like a very young
So,
age?
actually, I just it's been since July that I haven't smoked. Like, I'm really technically, because I worked for the VA, wasn't supposed to smoke then, but I did have my medical marijuana card. I didn't renew it in June, but yeah, same. I smoked since I was about 15, and when I stopped smoking, it's what you call REM rebound, to where it is proven, unfortunately, that REM marijuana does suppress that REM and deep sleep. Like there's been, studies done on it. But yeah, I mean, what would happen is that you would have like, let's say you quit, let's say like cold turkey, like I did, like you would just have a lot of like, dreaming occur, whether that's in your deep sleep or REM, who knows,
I
but
did when
yes,
I was
called
pregnant for 2 years. Like when I found I was pregnant, I quit everything, right? Like
same.
the weed
Yep.
and alcohol.
Same. Same. But I think
You were
that's the
pregnant
thing.
for 2 years?
Well, no, I was too afraid to drink or smoke after for like
Really?
over a
That's
year.
good.
I was like, I don't want to do
Yeah.
it.
Well, I breastfed too, so like, yeah, I definitely, but I've kind of slowly crept back to marijuana. But see, that's the thing. I think there's so many good properties, and like, now they have like CBD and THC, and especially in some of these veterans, I think that this CBD or even combo, is so beneficial